Hello, and welcome to another Tuesday night live stream. I'm sorry for the delay, but basically, I had a virtualization issue and had to reboot my whole virtualization server because I did an upgrade this week and I didn't plan it. So the chat was not going to work because there was no PCI pass through. And so, if you remember my setup here, I have two virtual machines or two virtual hosts, and both of them do PCI pass through for video. And I decided to rebuild the one this week to get it to 8.2 instead of where it was in 7 point whatever. And well, that kind of got rid of all my stuff that I had planned. So I had to go back and do PCI pass through and reboot the machine again and all that stuff. And yes, I know my setup is not typical and probably not what you'd want to use in production, but it's my setup, and you tune in to see what kind of craziness happens, and that's what happened this week. So let's go to chat and figure out what you guys are saying. I show, oops, how did this reload? Interesting. I show Toro as being first, and then Grish, oops, there we go. Grish is here. Joe is here. Define major. Well, I'm going to go with no chat is, I guess, major. But also, because my examples or my demo tonight includes virtual machines, I kind of need my VM host to work. So can't really do a live stream about virtualization and stuff like that if you can't show virtualization. Jeremy is here. And no, it was not a post Taco Bell explosion. I haven't been to Taco Bell in like a month, maybe. I don't know. It's been a while. Jeremy, as I see it, Jeremy, what? Joe, yes, Joe beat Jeremy by milliseconds. It seemed like. And yes, there is new music. I am curious what you guys think of it. I subscribe to several copyright-free music channels and just kind of listen to things as they're released. This one got my attention. Feedback. I'm looking for feedback. If you like it, tell me. If you hate it, tell me. I'm not like set on it, but I do like it. It's a little different vibe. So I'm just kind of curious how it felt for you guys. Grish was, I was sleeping. Now I'm last. Yes, DVR is not on the stream. I changed the settings. Not quite sure why DVR was on in the first place. I don't know. I turned it off and was messing with some settings just to see. If you like the DVR, I can turn it back on. Stop and think. Hank is here. Welcome in, Hank. I saw that you were on with Keith Bennett, who's on before me. I do not think Keith will be joining us tonight, but you never know. Live demo. Oh no. Yeah, what could go wrong? What could go wrong? Joe says he likes the new song. Good. And don't forget to like the stream. That is very important. Currently there are there's 7 viewers and only 3 likes. Let's get that number higher, please. No, DVR, if you turn DVR off, you just can't rewind it. The whole stream will get published later. Grish likes the new music. Thank you. I'm closing some chat or some windows that are open. All right, so looks like yeah, that was kind of my thought. Is people? I don't want people to be behind. So yeah, I kind of thought about that. I was also thinking about changing the latency, but then it was like didn't want to do something correctly. But either way, No, it was my parent. That was actually my phone ringtone. Um, Making sure everything's okay. All right. All right. Everything looks like it's fine. So that was just my ringtone. I didn't want to go with the standard one because everybody else seems to have the standard one, so I switched it to like the next option in the list, um, and it works. I don't know. Anyway, oh, hold on a second. I'll be right back. All right, that wasn't an emergency like I thought it was. Um, I don't know what song that is. Why don't you call me and we'll play it again? I don't even know how to play the ringtone. We can play it on YouTube. You remember, don't you? um, yeah, Hank. I think I just see. There you go. And I'm gonna hang up on Joe. All right. Anyway, so yeah, hopefully you got to hear the music during my timeout. Hopefully, um, was kind of manic a little bit. Anyway, so what are we gonna talk about tonight? We're gonna talk about hopefully, cross your fingers. Let's just see what happens. The final AES67 video we're gonna do. I think I have all the pieces together now and the flow to make this happen. I have not actually made this happen in its entirety, but I've done pieces and parts. So in theory, this should work. um, but as you know, the history of live demos on this channel, it'll probably crash and burn. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do, and is I'm going to create a new VM, and this is going to be my PTP clock. And you're going to probably say, what is PTP? Well, PTP is Precision Time Protocol, and it is what is needed for audio over IP or video over IP. So whether you're doing AES67, 2110, whatever it is, if it's over IP, it needs PTP. NTP is not good enough, so you need to run a PTP server. So I'm going to create a PTP server. It's not actually that difficult to at least get one started. Now, whether or not this will work the way I want it to work, that's a whole different question. But basically, I'm making a new VM machine called PTP1. Eventually, if this works, I'll be PTP1 and PTP2. But for now, we're going to create a new PTP instance using a Debian template that I have on my machine. Well, that's not very nice. Uh, I mean, I hope you cheer for a successful video occasionally or demo once in a while. That'd be nice. So yeah, so like I said, this is using a demo thing. It's already logged in, and then I believe I can call up. Oh wait, hold on. No IP record? Really? Come on. So 39. So let's go do a new SSH session to 39. And we're going to call up this. Oh, yeah. Hold on a second. I forgot enable public key on that one. Look at me doing secure things. Alrighty. Wait, what? Oh, seriously? Come on. I totally did this. Come on. All right. Well, here we go. Now it works. All right. So the first thing, and I don't know if this has it by, nope. So first thing we had to do is make sure our network card actually supports hardware clocks. So now if we do, oops, what is IPA? So we're going to do EX0. So if we do ETH tool, and then we're going to do this, you see that it actually has a PTP hardware clock. It can support PTP hardware. So if your network card does not have this option under Ether tool, then you cannot use it as a PTP source. At least that's what I was gathering in my testing. So now that we have this, we can do sudo apt install Linux PTP, which is the actual PTP service. And then while we're in here, because I always forget to do this, we're going to edit the host name, PTP1. And then, so now we need to actually like start the, well, let's go to do a reboot so it actually gets the latest host name. Let's go back to chat for a second while that reboots. I agree with Josephus sometimes. Sometimes the crash and burn streams are more fun. Well, we never have just raving success. We always have roadblocks. Like, it just doesn't just work. So, I mean, we want you to be happy in life, but our happiness does somewhat stem from your frustration. Oh, yeah. Hey, Clear Life Media, welcome in. Long time no see. So when you upgraded XCP-ng, did it reset the pass-through config, like the boot parameters for Linux, to ignore and not load the driver? I don't fully know. I think it was trying to, but it wasn't in the DOM. Like, you have to exclude it from the DOM, because when I opened up my OBS machine and launched it, it was grayed out. And typically when you launch it, it works the first time, so I don't think it was doing the pass-through correctly. I am guessing the DOM setting was not saved. Because because you got to go in there and exclude it from DOM0 before you can assign it to a virtual machine. So I had to go in and exclude it from DOM0, reboot the machine, then attach it to the virtual machine, and then boot the virtual machine. And it worked the first time, but for some whatever reason that was just not working. I do know that while USB pass-through is great in the current version of XCP-NG, I believe PCI pass-through is technically not available till 8.3, and I don't know if that's actually released yet or if that's in release candidate. I think it's release candidate currently. So hopefully that made some sense. Yes, that was a Hackers movie reference. Oh, gotcha. Yes, Clear Life Media hopefully is doing some behind the scenes with Black Magic and Clear Life about something. I'm not sure if I can say what yet. So if you're into Black Magic stuff, and you tune into Clear Life Media tomorrow. So anyway, let's go back to the stream or the machine. And now we have PTP1 as the host name. So for this, we're going to do sudo PTP4L, which is the program. We're going to do interface ENX0. We're going to do S capital, or sorry, lowercase s, no. I think it's capital S for server, and then we're going to do -M for verbose, I believe is basically what it does. And here you see that it's actually initializing. And now it has selected the local clock as the best master, and it is now assuming the grand master role. So now PTP1 is the PTP server for my network. And this is going to come in, this is important because in AES67, you need a PTP clock. So I'm just reading the chat. So yes, there's a Blackmagic announcement or Blackmagic video regarding replay coming out. Clear Life Media has a role in it. It should be pretty interesting. Go check it out. And it's not Grandmaster Funk. All right, so we go back to the host here, and I have a Linux, or a Ubuntu machine called up, and this is just regular Ubuntu installed, nothing else yet. And so the one thing I did notice also, Grish, if you're interested, is when I upgraded the host to the latest version, I lost the ability to like insert the tools. The tools don't exist anymore. Like I can't do the XCP-NG tools, which I find interesting. Anyway, so like I said, this is Ubuntu. At this point, it's just vanilla install, nothing else. So this is 51. So we're going to go to here, and I'm going to make sure I can actually log into it. Yes, I can. So here is our test machine, and there is a Git repository called the AES67 Linux daemon. And we are going to, where are we at? Okay. We're going to git clone that repository. And apparently Git's not installed by default, which is interesting. Now we're going to clone the repository, and now it created a new folder called AES67 daemon. We're going to cd into AES67, and basically you can see the contents here, and basically includes a bunch of stuff. And a couple of things in here we're going to pay attention to. The first thing is the Ubuntu packages. So we're going to do that script first because it has to install several things in order to build this properly. So we're going to let this run for a second. Basically, there's a bunch of tools that allow you to compile stuff from source, because the AES67 driver and all this stuff gives you basically the stuff in source, but you need to compile it yourself. I'm sure there's a way to do this once and then basically copy it to the machines. If you know of a way, an easy way, I should say, please let me know, because I would love to just do this once and then clone the driver that it makes to multiple machines instead of doing this over and over again. And like I said, I'm sure there's a way. I'm just not familiar with all the ins and outs of how you can do that. Isn't this fun, watching command line scroll past you? It's like I'm a hacker, to go back to the reference earlier. Oops, change screen, didn't mean to do that. And, all right. Still going. Like I said, I don't want to do this on every machine that I want AES67 to work on, so I really do want to copy this from other places. All right, so back to the... Grish says, I try not to preach in church that we use black magic. Yeah. BMD. I've never heard anyone actually call it that, but I mean, I get it, but that is true. We do some pretty magical stuff. Is this back to the Taco Bell reference earlier? Yeah, Grish built his own AI solution, which is crazy cool. Way more than I could do. But are you is that like elite or no? What is that? I don't remember what that is. Please share. I guess my hacker skills aren't as good as they used to be. All right. So now that that part's done, we have to build the thing. But before we do that, let's look at the build script. And you can see it comes in here and it does some stuff down here in CMake. The problem is we want this to run as a daemon, not just running. Like, we don't want it just to run each time. We want to run it as a daemon. And to do that, you actually have to modify the build script. I wish it was just in there where you could just run a different one, but you can't. So we have to come in here, and this is all from the GitHub, and you have to basically tell it to build with systemd turned on. Again, I wish it was just like an option, but this is the way the guy who built this, or person who built this, designed it. So now that we've added a systemd option, actually it already was there, wasn't it? Did I do that wrong? That's in there twice. Apparently I didn't mean to do that. Maybe you modified this and I was not aware of it. That would actually be very cool if you did that. Anyway, so now we're going to make sure it's there with systemd on. Okay. So now we're going to build it. Grish says I have a Kali VM. I haven't booted 6 months. Well, then no, it doesn't. I don't think that counts. All right. So again, here we are building the daemon, and here you can see with system D, that's going to be a key part of this. And the whole point of this is to actually get a web page where we can go in and modify things without having to go modify config files. It'll make things a whole lot easier than, you know, trying to go modify config files. Not that we can't do that. Obviously, we're doing all this, but I just find like a web page is going to be easier from like an end user standpoint and a little bit more flexible. So I'm hoping to get this running, and then we can actually have AES67. And I guess if this works, we can go in and even install Rivendell and see if we can tie Rivendell to AES67 and hear it. Who knows? We'll see what happens. We're only like 30 minutes in, and so far we have half the demo working. And again, isn't it lovely watching paint dry? And again, I don't know if this is one of those things where I can copy all these files that it's making, and like, if I can just copy this whole folder to each computer, and then therefore I could just have this on every machine I need it to be. I don't know if that's that easy or not. So Jeremy might know the answer to that. Grish, you might know the answer to that. I don't know. But we're almost done. But I have learned by pretty much exhaustive effort that this will only work on Ubuntu, not Debian, not Linux Mint. It only works on Ubuntu. So what about this is special? I don't know. But when it comes to building things by source and building things yourself, I guess follow the instructions. That's what I'm gonna say. All right, almost done. Come on. So right, now that that's built, we can go into CD, we can go back. Oh, never mind. I didn't want to do that actually. I wanted to go into System D. And again, our Ethernet drive is ENXO. So we're going to nano the config. Nano the config, because in here, it asks you for your interface. And if you don't have this correctly, it won't work. So you have to go in here and modify the interface that you're using. And then the installer, or the builder of this thing, actually did an install. So now that we've copied that systemd file over, we, in theory, can just start it. And of course we ran into an issue. Why wouldn't you run it? Why would it not just work? Alrighty, so let's look at what didn't it like. Oh, duh. We forgot a step. we forgot to actually install the driver. So if we back out of here and we run their little, oh yeah. Oh yes, okay, so we ran into this issue last time. I have to do something first. You have to enable sound, and then you can CD. Oh, Jesus. So we enabled sound, then we run this command. Now it works. Now we can start it. And if we do status, we see it's actually running. So now, go over to here and do a 10.1.51.80.80. You see a working AES67 daemon. Imagine that. So this is where you can configure the whole thing and what IP addresses it uses and what network card it's attached to and stuff like that. And if we go to PTP, we see it's actually locked. It found a PTP clock. Which means that the PTP server is actually working. Which means this demo actually worked. It was a roundabout way of getting there, but so far we're doing good. So, sorry, Joe, and all those who wanted me to fail. But that actually worked. So, yeah, yeah, I just want to go back to this for a second and say, look, it actually found it locked. Alrighty, so oh, Eric's here. Welcome in. So yeah, so okay, so now that this is actually working, in here we can go in and configure sources. So here we can make an also source, and it's 2 channels, and we can submit. So now there is a source on my network of AES67, and it's 2 channels, and that's the address. Let's say I want to add multiple sources. I can go in here and add multiple sources. Wow, it actually is working. Imagine that. So now I have 3 also sources available on this machine that are going across the network. All right, so yes, Grish, I need to readjust my camera first of all. I agree. It makes no sense to me why Linux Mint doesn't work, because it uses Ubuntu as a base, but it does not work. I've tried it twice, and it will not build. For whatever reason, something is incompatible. Did you take a screenshot of it working? Because you should have. The engineer has engineered. Yes, it actually worked. So this was interesting. I've watched 3 or 4 of his videos now about PTP and researching this, because I was thinking I'd have to go build a hardware PTP clock solution. And then I stumbled across like a 2-minute video where it says how to do it in software. And I was like, well, that's what I'm going to try first. If I was going to have this as a production environment where I definitely did need PTP clock to work like correctly all the time, I would actually trust a hardware solution like Jeff Gernling shows, as opposed to a software solution, because the software solution doesn't have any good input. It just is like, it's just running on its own, which is fine. I think going to be fine for a network like mine, but obviously if you were in a real production environment, you would want hardware tied to GPS and, to do it that way. That being said, at the radio station, which I believe is doing PTP as well, because it's using Livewire, which is a form of audio over IP, the consoles itself generates that clock reference. And so everything can tie to it there. So we have a hardware clock at the radio station because we have a console that does that. So I am actually interested in doing a hardware solution like he was talking about, but I couldn't actually tell from his video, and if you've watched it, maybe you could chime in. I think he just did a CM4 module on the Raspberry Pi like motherboard. Like I wasn't quite sure what he was doing there, because at one point he held up the module and had a little dangle, like a cable coming across that was just dangling, and I think that was his GPS clock or source, but I don't know for a fact because he didn't really explain that. He went in about how the one had, like nuclear stuff in it, not nuclear, but what was that, atom? I don't know what it was, but either way, he talked about like the professional clocks that are thousands of dollars, but he never really explained the cheap one that he references at the end of the video. So if you know, by all means, please tell me. Yes, it was a cesium. There we go, Eric. I was trying to think of the name. I'm like, it's right there. But yes, Grish, he did PTP and time on his channel. So please go watch the video and yeah. Yeah, it was GPS, but it was tied to it was PTP is what he was doing. Hey, I'm happy I finally have a successful demo. Thank you very much. If sources are ins, are the syncs out? No, sources are actually what you're advertising on the network. So sources are essentially outputs to the network. So I'm guessing if there are remote sources, if there were inputs, they would be here. They would show up as here. But what we can do, because now we have a working machine, and because virtualization is awesome, let's clone. Well, first of all, let's take a snapshot of it working. Now we're going to copy this machine, and we can test that theory. Because we should be able to clone this machine now and have 2 of them, and then we can advertise the sources and see if they show up. No, it works. Oh, you're right. Crap. Yeah, I'm happy that virtualization works too. I don't know how big this machine is. It can't be. I mean, it's 40 gigs is what I assigned to it, but it's thin provisioned, and I can't imagine there's a lot going on. So if we go to task, we can watch it copy. Oh, and speaking of virtualization and working, if you remember before I talked about my backup jobs, my backup jobs taking forever. So if you look at this, can you tell when I did the update? So these 3 jobs were prior to my upgrade, and then the 3 jobs after the upgrade have all taken considerably shorter times. About the same file size, so not a lot changed, but the time was cut almost in half. So I don't know what exactly they changed between the prior version and the version that I'm running now, but they clearly improved the backups because the time is so much faster. No, Grish, I'm doing full backups. I should be doing deltas, but I just did a full backup. Again, there's like 7 or 8 machines being backed up, and it's only 70 gigs. So, yes, I should be doing delta backups, but I just decided to do full backups. On this host, this host has lots of RAM and storage, and I'm not using most of it. Yeah, I mean, my local storage is 1.4 terabytes, and I'm only using 20 of it. So, not too concerned about that and about storage uses in general. And then, of course, the backups are off on TrueNAS, which I got space there. So, I mean, I have plenty of space for virtual machines. I have plenty of space for backups. Now that I know the backup tool actually works like good and fast, I probably will switch to deltas because I was just kind of using it as a test case to see kind of like a worst case scenario. So, all right. So now that we have this machine copied, we can run this and we'll see what it does. I'll probably have to delete the sources on the network because obviously they're same IP addresses. The new backup thing. Did you switch the remote or enable the block thing? Backup. I don't know what. Did you switch the remote? I didn't switch the remote at all. The remote's the same. Always was TrueNAS. And I did up the concurrency, not prior to my changing, but at one point I did upgrade this. I updated this to 7 to see if it would work better, and it didn't make a difference. Oh, the remote itself. Settings, remotes. Did I check the block thing? Oh, hold on. Store backup is this one? I didn't never seen it before. That must be new. Oh, I say that must be new because I don't recall that being there before. All right. Well, hey, while we're doing this, let's just fire off a backup or find a backup. Is there a way to tell? Oh. Nope, I forgot. It's not that anymore. It's... Come on. There we go. Was that 308? As I just saw. Whoa, that's flying. There's a way to... Oh, there you go. All right, we'll just see how fast that goes. It's going to merge change faster if you use deltas. Okay. Well, we'll see if how long this takes me. Anyway, so back to our things. We're going to go to this here. I got to go figure out what IP address this is on now. Did I not click on that? Yeah, I did. So we're on 52. So there's one machine. Here's the other machine. Oh, 52. Oh, wait. It's not running. Duh. I gotta go turn it on. I'm gonna do that off camera for a second. I could do it from the... I guess I could do it from here. We could just go in here. That's interesting. Doesn't actually remember. So sudo system ctl start AES67. Why does that not run now? We got a host name conflict, maybe? I don't know. It shouldn't. Should be the same everything. Why does that not work? I don't think the host name matters. Let me double check something off camera for a second, because I'm confused. 52. Edit session. I don't know what's going on here. Let me double check. Did I forget something? I cloned it, so it should have been... Oh, wait a minute. I think I know what I gotta do again. So I didn't actually... This is the part I hate about this daemon tool, is it doesn't actually install the driver. Like, you have to go do it. This is the part I gotta go figure out, because this should work every time. But I don't think it does, which is weird. So if I come in here to this, and then I do this, nope, that's wrong. And then now I do the other the other command I just got rid of. And now if I start the, gosh, I don't like how it doesn't save the previous stuff. So now it's running. Perfect. Oh, and look, you already see this. So by coming to the browser page, it's showing me the 3 sources that I made on the other one. So here's the sources that I made here. It is showing that they are, in fact, being received across the network. I don't know what a sync is. I think a sync is... Oh yeah, it must be how you bring it in, okay. So a sync is an input, I'm guessing. Yeah, input. So sources go out, syncs come in, and then there's a built-in browser that allows you to see what's on the network. That's pretty cool. And then if you really wanted to know, like, there's your, there's like your, what your file would look like if you had to do it, like make it yourself. So yeah, so there it's definitely seeing everything. And it is also seeing there. I'm not quite sure why it's doing that, but either way. So if I add a source here, you're gonna have a name conflict, aren't you? Yes, you are. So underneath here, I need to go in here and make this like 2. Submit. Now if I go over to sources, create a source, it's going to have a different address. If I go back to the first page, now this sees the other box. So they are clearly talking. Oh, this is great. That's awesome. So here's the part that I don't have down, is why I have to do this every time. I have to start this and I have to copy this each time. I'm assuming there's a different way of doing this and I'm just not doing it right. This says I could do it. I'm curious if this will actually work. Probably not. Oh yeah. It's doing something. So this is supposed to be doing a speaker test. But I have no way to test that. So I don't have physical speakers. How can I test that? All right. Well, I got to figure out how to actually test because I can't hear anything right now. I don't have anything generating. I have no way to receive that on my machine. Wish Windows had a way to receive. I think there is. To be honest with you, I didn't know if I'd get this far, so I never really thought about what I would do if it all works. um, Gosh, there's got to be a way to do. Okay, well, first of all, this how-to from the Git repository says there's a way to install this thing, so I'm curious on our first one. It says go to that folder, and it says sudo make modules install. Modules missing, system map file skipping. I'm guessing this won't work, but because see, my issue is now if I reboot, it won't be there, so it won't be working. So I'm hoping. I don't think that worked. What do you guys think? All right, so blah blah blah. But Grish was saying your I/O is going to be slower now because of the ongoing backup. Oh yeah, that's true. There's also hostname CTL. Yeah, I always forget about that. In theory, I just did a speaker test, but I'm not sure again where I'm going to hear it from. Is this referring to audio over IP or your PTP? Didn't expect it to work. Yeah, I wouldn't. I'm not saying I'd run this as a virtual machine. I definitely would not do this if I was wanting this to work in a, like I said, I would run this on hardware. Uh, Apparently, the regular Raspberry Pis are not good enough. Or not okay. You have to do the CM4, I believe, the little compute module 4. That has a different NIC. So the regular Raspberry Pis will not work as a PTP server. You have to do the CM4 and then put it on a board because that NIC is different. Because remember we have talked about the Ether tool and having to look at the hardware clock. It needs a hardware clock, and I guess the regular old Raspberry Pis don't have that. So I think if you watch Jeff Gerling's video from I think it was about a year or two ago, he holds up one at the very end, and that's like the cheapest way you can do it is the compute module 4. Don't you need the module in ext and modules? Yeah, but I think even if I did that one, it didn't want to work. Like, because it's not a signed driver. Like, it's not a signed module, and I don't think that Ubuntu will see it unless it's signed. You can do it manually each time and it'll work, but I don't think you can just put it in there and have it work because it's asking for because like it says in the instructions, if this doesn't work because you miss kernel certificate, which doesn't really say that, but follow these instructions to make a signing file. So, yeah, I'm looking at the. I don't know how to just get it to work. Like, hi, hon. Because yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you can do it, you can install it manually every time and it works, but you don't really want to have to do that. And this is where I am falling flat because it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Yes, in this example, what are you doing?
Falling flat like you.
Oh my god. So I said I'm falling flat, and Haley gets to the floor and lays down flat. So
Supportive.
she's supporting me in my falling down flat. Yes, so I did check that the hardware NIC on the XCP-NG host does support it. So I'm assuming it's passing that through in this example, yes. That was kind of my thought process at this point was to have it be in basically the startup script for like users and just have it loaded each time the Windows machine. Holy crap. The machine boots. Obviously not ideal, but one of those things where I feel like that's the only way it's going to work for me. Because as long as the machine was loaded, as long as it was loaded in the machine and can start the daemon after it gets loaded, I also thought about doing it as part of the daemon or the system CTL process, the service file. I'm wondering if I can put it in as the service file where I can like do three things. I never had a service file do three things in a row, but can it? I don't actually know. I would be interested to know if it could do that. At least that's something you don't hear very often. Signing things in Linux is easier. um, yeah, and that's kind of at this point the last hurdle. Not the last hurdle, but I mean it's one of the last hurdles. Is to get that driver installed every time. So, um, the the GitHub repository I'm following along with for those of you who are interested is this one. I just put it in the chat. So if you want to follow along, like I said, I think I got to figure out a way to make this happen every time because I think if we crap, didn't mean to do that. Didn't mean to do that either. Let's go back to here. if we um, is it system? I'm so bad at this. Yeah. So if I look at CD system, so this is the file that the service that the daemon runs. I kind of wonder if I can't add this as part of this exec start. Like, can I have it enable audio and then like copy the thing over and then start the daemon? Like, can this be multiple things? I don't know. It would be interesting to know. That's interesting. It's writing a status file down there. What is it running that? What's in that status file? Oh, interesting. Well, those definitely should have more than that in there. Interesting. That's writing stuff to files, but it's not actually putting anything in it. Or did I lose them when I did my other thing? And yes, I'm being very weird. And nope, they're still there. I find it interesting that it doesn't. I don't know where it writes this information to. Anyway, so yeah, like I said, my biggest thing right now is trying to get that driver to install every time. That'd be my next basic step, or I can install Rivendell and actually, if we do, this might get interesting. If I'm on here, what does it say my sound output is? What is my sound output? Settings. Sound. So it's not seeing. It doesn't see AES67 as an option. I would have hoped it would have had that as an option in here. Oh, you know, one thing it did say. Where is it at? One of the things it did comment on was is it says pulse audio can create issues. So to test to see if pulse audio is running. So sudo apt or sudo, and then it says to uninstall it. Oh, apparently it's not never mind. It's not installed. Isn't there also config, also mixer? Here we go. If we do a F6. Ooh, there we go. I could change this to be this one. So now I just changed, not this one, on the other one, I just changed its output to be the AES67. That is not what I wanted to click on. I really wish the screen was bigger. Or, yeah. System settings. There we go. Sound. Nope, that didn't do what I wanted. I thought it would change it here. I guess not. I'm a little, at this point, I'm way over my head. I need to figure out what this is actually looking at. Because I thought changing it here would change it everywhere. Can I choose playback? Huh. So obviously it's seeing it. I just don't know how to use it. Wait, there was a way. There was a way to get VLC to listen to it. I think there was a way. I don't know. All right, so what do we want to do next? I'm kind of stuck at this point. Like, we could either focus on the driver, we could install Rivendell and have it output to it. I mean, that would probably make the most sense. But no, if the driver doesn't work, then we can't keep going down the road where the driver doesn't work. So what do you guys think we should do? I'm curious. Joe says Rivendell. Okay. Anybody else? Rivendell install. Oh, the one thing I didn't do was I gotta create a different user. Rivendell has to be, the username has to be RD, so I have to create another user. So let's out this. Oh, I haven't created a new user in forever. Create new user, sudo add user, RD. Okay. Now we want to add that user to the sudo group. So we're going to go sudo user mod add group sudo rd. Cool. So if we exit rd, cool. Now we're logged in as Rivendell, which is great. And now we can keep going on with the installation. So we're going to get the file. Then we're going to and then boom. I don't think that'll show it, but it did not. So now we're going to do, so this is going to be in this instance, we're going to do a standalone server. We're not doing a server and a client like we would somewhere else. This is going to just be a standalone machine. So we're going to hit standalone. And then we're just going to sit back and relax. It's going to do a whole bunch of stuff. But that's how easy it is. You literally do a wget on a shell script. You make it executable and you run it. And this I know I can point to the ALSA driver and have it work perfectly. So this will be interesting to see when this boots up if it actually shows all three ALSA drivers, although it's going to want to reboot and therefore we're going to lose the driver again. Son of a bitch. Oh well, we'll have to go back and add it. This is kind of funky how it's not updating the screen very well. But it sure does a lot of things. It's got to set up our database and install a bunch of software. So while that's doing that, I'm going to go see if I could figure out how to listen to... I'm 99% sure there was a way... The VLC had a way to like listen to audio over other network. Like it just Nope, that's not it. VLC AES67. According to the AI, AES67 could be used. VLC could play it. It doesn't tell you how to do it. But in theory, Receiving. Here's how you receive one, but that's not going to work. I'm pretty sure it was a really easy way to do this. VLC listen to AES67. This is, oh look, it's rebooted. Good. Or it's done, I mean. What is going on with this session? Can't close that one because if I close that one, I'll lose my PTP clock. Come on, reboot. Alrighty, so if we go over here to this host, this should be the, yes, this is this one. Sorry, I'm just trying to. Apparently, you can do it with an SDP file, which is what the daemon was basically talking about, right here. So yeah, you can literally like copy this or make this an SDP file and it might work. So we're back to here. This is the after Rivendell. So now if I go here, Rivendell is installed. That's interesting. What is this? Oh, that's a Livewire tool that I don't have access to. So if we go into RD admin, geez, turn caps lock off. Manage host, that's our current workstation. If I go into, oh wait, this isn't what I want to be, never mind. I'm in the wrong window. Cancel that. I want to be in no. Right there. RD also config. That's what I'm looking for. Yes. And this is going to show this because, of course, there's no devices running. This is where we were talking about the issue before. So if I come back here to this one, I need to log in as me. And then I go into, and then I gotta run this thing. Then I run this one. And then now I can start up so now that that driver is installed again, if we go to here, there's our sources. If we go back into here now, also config. There is drivers. And I should be able to choose that one. And then oh, that is really big. Really? We can't make it any smaller, huh? Well, we know we can get this to work by doing... Oh, crap. That's not going to work. I need to get that VM drivers installed so I can change the resolution. Jesus Christ, this is so stupid. Settings. Display. This will work now, but the problem is I can't freaking... It's too big on the screen. Let's do it that way. So if we go in here and we add a spot, there's a built-in spot. If I hit play and this thing plays, there. So now we know it works, because that is actually, that will not work if there's no sound card listed, like that it could talk to. So the fact that it played a test sound means that it actually is talking to the AES driver and spinning it across the network. Try asking DeepSeek. Why don't you guys go ask? Why don't you guys ask it what it thinks it could do? That'd be hilarious. Is it? I would say I feel like this is really easy to do in VLC. Open network stream. This is a source. So RTP. Is it RTP? It can't be RTP. RPT. It's. Oh, hold on. What did I just say? SDP required. A description of SDP format is received. It requires an SDP, which is what I was kind of going for here. So if I make this an SDP file. Save as test.sdp to the desktop. Realize I'm not showing this. I should probably do that, but we're just going to do this for now. So I made an SDP file on the desktop. Do I hear stuff? My God, I hope this does actually work. Nope. At least not on this thing, it's not. So close, so close. I feel like it's... It's almost like it's working, but not exactly. So here's what I have. I don't know if that's right. I don't think it is. But I think that's what it's asking for. Or is it this one? Well, that should look like the same thing, doesn't it? Yeah, looks the same. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Hmm. I think this is what you gotta have, but I don't know why it's not working. It could also be them on... Oh, shit. You know, I'm on wireless. That's probably my issue. Damn. I didn't think about that. Damn, how could I be... Hold on. Maybe I can do this. If Do I have a USB dongle? I do. Hold on. Let me run this cable across the floor. Let's see if this works. I'm going to probably lose something for a second while this happens. Oh, hold on. I got to go change my network properties. Because, you know, that's always the fun thing to do. Okay, hold on. It's currently set for static IP. That's not going to work. Okay, I'm no longer on the wireless. I'm on the same network as though they are. Any chance this works now? Nope. Oh, we're so close. I just don't know what I'm doing wrong. Um, yep, I'm kind of stuck right now. I'm reading a Google page that basically says what I did should work. I know I did this before with Livewire. Well, these are some really old pages. Holy crap. That is not what I wanted to hear. What see? That's not it. You can use VLC to listen to live streams from a Livewire network by playing the RTP. That's what I try to do. The Telos Alliance has a little thing that generates a thing for you, but it no longer works. Because here's the page. But notice how old it is. And 404. Son of a... I know this exists. This is capable of doing it. I just don't remember how you do it. Crap. So Rivendell is done by a system called Paravel Rivendell is done by Paravel Systems. They have paid support. They have some products. You can sign up for a service plan. This is that company right here. Rivendell is a Paravel Systems. Sorry, that's the wrong logo. I'm thinking of something else. But yes, so you can buy support. I have actually reached out to them and asked to buy the Livewire drivers for Ubuntu. I've asked 3 times and they have not responded. They've said we'll check, we'll get back to you, whatever. No response. They had paid drivers for CentOS, and I've bought those at the radio station. We own the drivers for CentOS. We do not own the drivers for Ubuntu because, as far as I can tell, they don't exist. At least I can't find anybody who actually says they exist. I've called and offered them money to buy them, and they don't get back to me. So I don't know why this doesn't work. I don't know what I'm missing, but I've reached out to their salesperson, and they in theory should get back to me, and they never have. Did you guys figure out the issue with the VMix PC that came to a crawl? Yes. Okay. So yes, I actually was down there on Saturday. The company who built the PC sent me. I kept pointing to the SSD, and I said, and I actually literally quoted you. I took what you sent me in Signal and basically put it into an email and changed some words and said, "Here's what I've discovered." I consulted an IT technician. Here's what he said, and basically sent it off. I got back. Well, that's unusual. We don't usually see that issue with this system, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, but you said it was RAM. We bought more RAM, and that didn't work. I said, can you please just send us a new SSD, preferably a Samsung Pro or whatever it is. They said that they would send us a new one because maybe that SSD is bad. And when the new one came, it was still a what's that? What's that cheap brand? What did I say it was to you a while ago? It was Kingston. So they had sent us a Kingston. Well, the replacement Kingston they had a heat sink and looked very different than the Kingston they originally sent. So I think they sent us a Kingston Pro as opposed to a consumer brand Kingston. And we did the swap out. It took like an hour to clone the drive. And we opened everything up and it seemed to work. Their basketball game, I think, might actually be tonight. It's either tonight or tomorrow. I can't remember exactly. So they're going to be testing it for sure tonight or tomorrow. But as I pointed out, I find it funny that the new one came in and has got a heat sink. The old one didn't have a heat sink. They want the old one back. So I think they got the message. But we will know for sure tonight or tomorrow. I don't, we'll see. So that's the follow-up on that. I forgot about that. So like I said, I think with the fact that they gave us one that has a heat sink, I think they upped it a little bit. Alrighty, so I don't know. I really wish I remembered how to do this because I know you could play audio. What is this? This is... This is... I'm trying to read through an article really fast because... This seems to imply you can do it. I don't see where it... Setup of VLC involves enabling the Lua interpreter as shown. Well, those are small ass pictures that I can't see. Well, there's definitely a way to do it. It looks like by... Lua interpreter. I don't think this is where I'm supposed to be. Livewire IP address. Yeah, it looks like you can do it. Like Joe was talking about. Let me try this. Preferences. So let me, oops, hold on. Let me show this on the screen. This is following a very, very quick guide. I'm sure this is nowhere near what will work, but this showed basically, you come down here. That was not it. Interfaces, Lua. And what was that port? $5,004. I don't know. I'm guessing I'm missing something. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna work the way. Cause see, when I try it like this, it doesn't like it. If I do the IP address, yeah, it doesn't like that either. Although I was trying on the network thing, wasn't it? I think it was maybe close. Stop it. I literally told you to stop all future, hide all future errors, stupid VLC. Network stream. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna work the way I think it's gonna work. Going through, yeah, this is. It's an STP file. There we go. Same thing I did before. I don't know why VLC doesn't like it. Sure looks the same. All right. Well, I think we're gonna call it quits for the night. I don't really know what else to do. I'm stuck. Um, so, I mean, overall, we did make progress. We know the AES driver works in a daemon with a PTP clock. Now I just need to figure out how to listen to it. um, Maybe what I should do is go down to the radio station and try the same thing down there where there is devices that can hear it. um, so yeah, let me know what you guys think in the leave a comment, because I actually haven't seen a whole lot of comments recently. So help the YouTube algorithm out and leave me some comments about what you guys liked and didn't like, or what you want to see, and then we'll go from there. I have a couple cool ideas on software-defined radio. I just need to do some more testing before I try to show you a demo. I really wish I had members only, because I would love to do a members only stream and show this off, because based on what I'm going to show, it kind of would give away my location. So I don't really want to do it live on the stream, but I'd love to do it members only stream. I don't know, maybe we'll have special friends of the channel Zoom. I don't know. I'll figure out something, because I think you guys would love to see it. It's a pretty cool, excuse me, it's a pretty cool thing that you can use computers like with dongles, like little plug-in USB dongles, to get RF signals, and like they can turn them into a scanner and record them. So anyway, if the SDR thing interests you, let me know. Let me know your thoughts down below, and thank you for watching. Hope to see you all next week.